Hi everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, the founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform, and today I've got with me
Graham McCarthy, development manager at SwiftCase.
And Phil would be developer at SwiftCase.
Okay, and today we were going to talk about interviews and I suppose what's wrong or what's not great about interviews from I suppose from both sides of the table, if you were, of when people go into interviews, like, are they just pointless, or do they have some value, and what do we think that people do wrong when interviewing?
Can I start
being interviewed?
Can I start with just we've
talking about job interviews, by the way, aren't we? We're talking about
job interviews. Yeah.
I think any interview though, this is true. One thing, the biggest pet peeve I've got when we've done interviews, and there's a potential staff member, is when they can't find the place. It really is. If you're looking to apply to any jobs, just make sure that's your number one priority. If you really want the job, have a look where it is beforehand, and do a trial run if necessary. When I started here about 7 years ago, and I was pretty young, but to be fair, I was clued up enough to go, do you know what, it's actually quite a little while away from where I live. I'm going to do a trial run the week before. I've got plenty of time to prepare. I'm going to just see what the travel links are like and all that. If it's a building that you don't know much about, why don't you just go and check it out first? I mean, I understand if you go into plenty of interviews and things like that, and obviously sometimes it is difficult to get to places. But make that a big priority.
That's interesting.
And it also reduces your stress. If you know where you're going, you've done it before even once, you must be a lot less stressed than the first time you go somewhere.
I think I 2004 I went for an interview at Kiel, and I was like an hour late for the interview. Maybe 45 minutes late.
Did you get the job?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you?
But right, no,
you must be good.
No, what was interesting was, I might be. You've got no idea.
Really?
But I was delayed behind I was driving from Liverpool to Kiel, so it was like an hour and a half in a Mini, right? Little red F-Ridge Mini, and I was stuck behind a guy towing a yacht on country lanes.
That is absolutely fine. That is completely excusable.
When I got employed, the guy said, actually, I was very impressed with how calm you were under those circumstances.
I would be happy with that. I would be impressed.
I wouldn't be impressed.
You should have driven to Kiel.
I think if you'd
how did you get stuck behind a boat on a road?
I think the main bit would be if someone is in that situation and they bother to tell you, look, sorry, there's been an issue. I'm going to be late. Can we just move it back? You go, no problem. But it's when they just turn up and don't even say anything at all, as if it's quite all right to have not turned up.
All it is for me is when they don't know where it is. I couldn't find it. Why? Why? If you couldn't find it, how could you find the answer to the problems you're going to face every day?
So you've got so much help now, haven't you?
That's the big thing as well.
You need your postcode, don't you?
I am awful at finding. Do you know what? If we didn't have Google Maps, I'm talking about people not finding stuff. If I didn't have it, I'd probably be really useless at it. But there's no excuse now. There really isn't any excuse.
So other than having a really good reason for being late, mainly because it's disrespectful, isn't it? If you don't turn up, as if you don't value someone's time that you've said you're going to be somewhere. But people do have genuine, issues, that life happens and people are going to be late. That's not the end of the world. But if you just can't be bothered, you go, oh no, I didn't realise it was going to be 2 buses. So it took me a while. But, that's
I suppose that leads on to that. Typically, they're not the sort of people that would be prepared for the interview. The actual questions that you're going to ask. But I suppose the big thing. See, I find when we've done interviews, they've been fine and everything, but you don't really know enough about someone. Especially, I suppose, with the roles that we recruit for ourselves, until they actually
get there,
work, get involved with the team and stuff like that. And I think the experience sort of thing is much better than a typical interview. You can gauge a lot about a person from an interview, but how truly suitable they are.
And sometimes there's issues with an interview where I read something, the person who did it on LinkedIn got slated for it. They said they worked in quite a big firm, and what they used to do is after the person had been for their, like, they would go through an interview process. So after they'd been for their initial interview, they'd do a shortlisting, and if the person who went for the interview didn't reply to say thank you for seeing me today, they would immediately cut them from the next interview stage. They just removed them, and like they got slated going, what if someone's just introverted or didn't think, or something's happened.
Arbitrary, that, isn't it?
It's such an arbitrary way to take something out, and so a lot of interviews are arbitrary. People ask the same questions, don't they? Where why do you want the job? Because I want to get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I've got a passion for the industry that I'm in. It's not really, it doesn't really tell you anything, does it? No one's going to say, well, unless they say I don't really want the job, or there's something really specific that they know about you, like your business. Other than that, it's quite like just stroking your ego. It doesn't mean they're going to be a good fit for the job just because they have a reason why they want. Where are you going to be in 5 years? All these sorts of questions, they've like become standardised across, and people don't even know why they're asking them anymore. They just know that they're doing an interview, so they should ask questions like this.
We're here pretending to know what we're doing, and you're here pretending to know what we're
exactly.
doing. So all it becomes about is, and this is why sort of like appearance is quite important and what you wear, because you're really just signifying that you understand the social requirements. So
of an interview.
That's it. You can go, here's a game we're playing. It's a really, really easy game. As easy as Space Invaders. All you've got to do is turn up, be presentable, be on time, and these softball questions, don't panic, have a panic attack and wet yourself or run out of the room screaming. And then you've sort of passed the first tier. The real interview is the job itself, really.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's
absolutely.
And I think you're kind of just saying, are you a basically functioning human being with an awareness of certain social niceties? Because that's all you will subconsciously check it off. You're checking off time, punctuality, presentability is in there.
But does it always matter? Are we really checking things that matter?
But you're kind of
if someone's 10 minutes late every day, but they're brilliant at the job.
Exactly.
Does it really matter?
If you're there, like
if they're
obsessing over the 10 minutes, you're literally
to wear a tie, or they wore a tie in the wrong situation.
It depends on who you're recruiting for. Not who you're recruiting for.
The role.
But the business itself as well. I remember I went to some expo thing last year, and there was someone there, and I think they owned a gin distillery, and it was a startup, and it became quite successful. And they said one of the questions they'd asked in the interview was like, what typical, isn't it? What 5 dinner guests would you bring? But it actually helped them form a good opinion of who they are, because the role that they were recruiting for wasn't so much anyone could do it sort of thing. It was more of a fit for the team. What's their personality like? And I think if you can kind of showcase that in a 15-minute show reel of like, this is who I am, this is what I like, you can kind of gauge whether they're going to be a good fit.
I think
that's what you really want to find out, don't you? You want to find out whether the person who sat across from you, you'd be quite happy if they were sat in your business for the next 5 years or longer, wouldn't you? Really, you want to know whether they're a good fit and whether they're going to, like you said, it's the first step, isn't it, really, of, okay, this person probably isn't going to be a good fit, or they just don't have the required skill set. Next stage is, okay, let's try them out. And I think that's...
There's always a trial period, because no one's at a company forever. Even the best employees aren't here forever, so there's always a sense of transience about the whole thing anyway. So it's just whether you maintain it beyond any natural relationship generally tends to fail anyway. So it's like having a relationship with a girlfriend or boyfriend. You're interviewing the entire time. Isn't it? It's not like, but most people think the dates are the interview, and then you get the job, and then you're married. But it's not. It's constant. And any job should be like that as well. You don't go, I've got a job now, I can just relax. You know what I mean? It's a permanent interview. I think that should be the take home, shouldn't it? Really. But
I don't think job interview is a lot like a relationship.
Well, it is. It's more like a date. And it's the same parallels you can say with a date. It's like people go in with rehearsed lines. They go in and say,
the barriers aren't broken down.
The man's got to pay. And even if they themselves don't believe that, they can go in. You can go into a date being completely...
It's a forced situation.
And you go, but what you're really saying is, I understand that rules exist. So therefore, I'm not a danger to you as an individual because I understand those rules exist. So it's all about the initial dating thing. It's all about assessing danger, and it's the same for interviews. It's like, okay, well, we'll let this person into our business because they won't rob us blind because they understand that they have to turn up to an interview.
Yeah.
You know, and really, it's hard to get beyond that into a deeper understanding of what the person's about until they get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
You got the job.
So in a way, I'm chief interviewer now. In a way, you kind of just have to accept the superficiality of that. And rather than saying, oh, this is awful, you just say it's just a necessary first step, like an awkward first kiss or something. It's like, you don't just go, oh, that first kiss was a bit awkward, we can't be in a relationship ever. You just kind of laugh at it. It's how you deal with those little bumps, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
I think some places, some industries will have extended interview periods where they do role plays and all this.
I wonder how
stuff
counterproductive that
really
becomes. Yeah.
You know, do they the way they get into your psychographic sort of details and so on, whether that's another avenue that like people tend to try and explore nowadays with more complex interview processes, but ultimately, how much can you really tell about someone by putting them into pigeonholes? You know, really, is it just, does it really add that much value for the amount of, I suppose, stress that you put people through?
Kind of like what we're talking about with the barber, like he could assess his potential clients down to the minute detail and upset, but it's not really going to increase his revenue.
No.
If anything, it's just going to be a waste of his time and cost him money.
Yeah.
So at some point, you just have to sort of throw the net out.
Yeah. You don't want to miss the left field genius.
Yeah, because he's going to go, I'm not going to waste some time doing it.
Because they said one wrong thing.
Or they think that your whole interview process is a complete waste of time.
Because it's indicative of your obsessions, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how I answer that interview question is as much reveals about me, a lot, maybe, or nothing. But the kind of questions you ask also reveal about you. It's a two-way street. It's not like you're anonymous masked individuals finding out about it.
I think that's always interesting. I always find it interesting when people who you're interviewing ask you questions. And I think that they are always the more interesting interviews, especially if they've got like searching questions, not just the superficial. When's the whole? How many holidays do we get? What time's lunch? Is there a dress code?
But that shows that they're not just anxiously hoping to just get through it.
Yeah.
So the question. So again, it's like, they're the next level because they're actually comfortable to be here.
Yeah. They ask like, what's the business sort of going to be doing in the next year, and like other things like exploring the role and the way the team fits together.
Yeah, because like
that's always quite interesting.
If the other person was just desperate to impress you.
Yeah.
And had nothing.
Just answered questions.
Yeah, and was just like desperate. You would know that that's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's not like, that they don't value themselves maybe and they're just anxious about being rejected. Rather than, you know what I mean? Rather than trying to assess whether you're right for them because they know that they're good.
Exactly. Yeah. So I suppose the take home message is if you come in for a job with us, turn up on time. Ask us some questions, know where we are. What else?
Well, if they'd like to interview us, they could probably head over to swiftcase.co.uk for more information about some of the stuff that we do.
Tweet us maybe? Or?
They could always tweet us at SwiftCase UK, couldn't they?
Yeah. Or any of the other social media channels.
Yeah, also, or if they wanted to find out in a way they wanted to interview us, they could just subscribe and see more.
Yeah, and they can leave a comment down below or a question, and we might give you an answer if we can be bothered turning up on time. So thank you for listening to today's SwiftCase Productivity Podcast, and if you are coming for an interview with us or with anyone else, good luck, and we'll see you again next time.